Welcome back. This lesson is about getting that essential certification you need to operate as an online pharmacy. And I'm not going to waste too much of your time here. If you've been following along so far, you already know why this matters. The point is, without proper certification, Google will shut you down. So let's get right into it and make sure you stay in the game. Now, when it comes to certifications, you have two key ones you need to consider. First, Google's healthcare products and services certification. This is the must-have one. No exceptions here. If you're doing anything related to healthcare, you have to be certified with Google. Second, there's LegitScript. It's a nice to have, but I highly recommend getting it too. LegitScript is recognized across major platforms like Google, Meta, which is Facebook, Bing, and so it really is, as the name states, legit. All right, let's walk through this together. I'm going to show you how to apply for a Google Healthcare Products and Services certification. It's not difficult. It's just a matter of filling out the form, sending it in, and making sure everything checks out. To start, you'll want to navigate to the page shown here on the screen. You can find a link to this form below this lesson under the action steps. Welcome back. This is Quincy with a little tutorial on how to get your certifications. There's 3 certifications that we'll go through on here. There's the Google Ads Healthcare certification. There's the LegitScripts Healthcare certification, and then there's the NABP Digital Pharmacy accreditation. So we'll first go to the Google Ads Health-Related Advertising certification. That's probably the easiest one, and as I mentioned, that's probably one that everyone wants to have if you're in the healthcare industry. So what I would start doing is I would first Google. You can just Google healthcare related advertising certification, anything like that, and you'll get to this page. So it's pretty straightforward process. You just choose here if you're a prescription drug service provider, pharmaceutical manufacturer, healthcare, a government health advocacy organization, addiction services provider, and then we have health insurance advertiser. I would say the most used one is probably the prescription drug service provider, online pharmacy and telemedicine. Most companies I work with are telemedicine companies. They have telehealth, and let's say that you prescribe something like I don't know, Adderall or Ozempic or something like that. So you'll definitely want to check this box. We also have these here: verified election advisor, or the entity that holds a FDA insured license or approval to market a sale of gene therapy. Those two probably not as much. Those probably going to be the bigger companies. But yeah, like I said, most of the time it's going to be one of these two. So let's click this right quick. Let's see. Let's go back. That kind of happened fast there. So click that. Then you go to the next page, select the country where you hold the license. So your selection is right here. Let's click that. So go down here. Of course, most of you are in the U.S. Some may not be in the U.S., but I'm in the U.S. So are you an agency applying on behalf of the advertisers, So when I worked at an agency, I oftentimes click that box because we control the account. And what you want to make sure is that this can be a tricky one. If you're an agency, then you want to click on this. However, here's a big part. If the Google Ads account is in the company's name, or you're a small business and the ad account is in that company's name, then you will most definitely want to click no. If you're an agency that's doing this on behalf of an advertiser, meaning that I work for an agency, and let's say Merck was one of my clients. I would click this, but I'll also want to make sure that the account, or it's called an MCC, the MCC account belongs to the agency, right? Now, if you're agency and you're doing it on behalf of an advertiser, and the advertiser has their own account, let's say that you're working out of the Merck account, and it's not an MCC, which is an overarching account. If you have a manager account, usually if you're an agency, you do have a manager account, and Merck exists within your MCC, then you probably want to say, yes, I am doing this on behalf of an advertiser. If you're just let's say you're a private contractor, and your Merck gave you the keys to their account, and you're within their account, you're not an agency. You want to click no here. Hope that's understood. It's based on the type of account you're working with. So most of you, like I said, we're assuming that you're a small company like a med spa or a telehealth company. So we're going to click no here. Sorry about the long runaround, but just had to make sure that was clear. So here you put your full name. Should be the same as a contact name. And customer company name. What is the name of the company, man? And as I said, if you're within the Merck account, you want to put Merck. If you belong to an agency, please provide the name of the company that you're managing the campaigns for, and that again will be Merck. So if you're agency, Merck. If you are Merck or work for Merck, it'll be Merck. This is going to be the address of the company. And then please provide a phone number where we can reach you. Phone number, and make sure this is a phone number of someone at the actual company that can verify the information. Not you. You don't want it to be you. Although that in some cases it may have to be you, but you want someone at the company who can verify the company information, if that makes sense. So a stakeholder. Contact email. You want this contact email to be you. Again, if you're med spa, telehealth, any of those kind of companies, a dental implant clinic, you definitely want to put in your email, because you're that one that's actually doing the application. If you're an agency, yes, you definitely want your email in there. But if you're an agency, if you put your email here, you want a CC to your primary contact at the company. Then URL of the website, again, if this is Merck, you want that to be merck.com or something like that. And then the Google Ads customer ID. And this is, if you're working within an MCC, then you want that account number of the actual account, the actual Merck account, not the MCC account number. If you have any LegitScripts or National Association Board of Pharmacy certifications, that does help. Now, summary of the issue. Here's the thing. A lot of people work the way of, I have a problem, so let me solve it. I would advise you to get this certification in the beginning before you have the problem. If that's the case, then you want to explain that clearly. I advertise pharmaceutical meds online, and I would like to be certified and make sure that I'm compliant with all Google Ads policies. That's as simple as it can be. And then you hit submit. That's pretty much it.
it's pretty straightforward. You'll probably get some emails back from their team overseas. And they may have some questions, or they might approve you right away. That one is pretty straightforward, and it's free. So this is probably the most important one for Google. So keep that in mind.
Next up is LegitScript. Same basic process. Fill out the form, submit it, and you'll get that certification badge to add to your website. First, navigate to legitscript.com.
So here we go. I already have that there. Okay, so I've been playing around with this a little bit because I haven't done this. I don't, of course, have a healthcare business, but I advertise for a few. They all have their separate accounts, but I made my own just to go through this process with you. So as you can see here, I have a few applications here. But if you want to start a new application, you click here. And this is important, really important. Most of the time you're doing this. And I'm pretty sure you understand if you need an addiction treatment certification, or if you need a CBD website certification, or a CBD product certification. Let me know if you guys have any questions with those two. But as far as the healthcare certification, I'm going to click on this right here and click next. Okay, so it's going to ask you, you selected a healthcare certification. Would you like to proceed with the application? Of course, I never understood that question, but let's go. It's going to take a minute. Okay, so the legal name of the business, doing business as, DBA, company type. You want to choose one of these. We're just going to do pharmacy retail. Primary website. I'm going to just put Stevens Digital here. Stevens Digital here. And I'm going to just, most of the time, I usually just do it for both. Why not do it now? I'll do it for both. Yeah, doesn't matter. Click that. Please carefully review each answer before pressing next. As your responses, it's important that you read this, because a lot of responses take you to a lot of different places. We're going to try to keep this as simple as possible. I think the enrollment is probably going to be the place where a lot of people get tripped up. Let me keep this as simple as possible for you. And again, please contact me if you have any questions about this. So the question it asks is, does your business fall under any of the following company types? You have to read these carefully. It's like a quiz. So it's business model solely offering the retail sale of CBD products. And you'll get what's going on here as you read these. Why would you do that if there's an entire section for CBD products? So no. Business model solely offering the prescription of physician ordered lab tests. The key word is solely here. And then there's business model solely offering the retail sale of supplements. Solely. Which means that you're probably going to have to do something else. As a matter of fact, let me click on that and let you see what it does when I click on that. Then you have insurance companies. You got to do something else. Medical marijuana dispensaries. I don't believe Google allows you to sell medical marijuana. So that is null and void. The exclusive provision of telemedicine services that do not result in the prescription of medication. These two are the ones I'm most interested in. Let's get to the chase here. So, for the most part, 99% of people will choose NA because most of these will disqualify you. Let's get that out of the way. But just for the sake of argument, I want to just go here and choose this exclusive provision of telemedicine services. And then you have these 2 stars here. It says select this option if your telemedicine services are the only services your business provides, and these services do not include prescribing prescription medication. If your business involves prescribing medication to patients via telemedicine services, select NA, and that is most people. The point here is that 90% of the time you're going to do NA. But just for my curiosity, I'm going to click here. There you go. I kind of figured that was going to happen. So what it says here is, unfortunately, telemedicine business models that do not result in prescribing medication to patients via telehealth services are not in the scope for certification. So it's going to take you back here, right? So we can click here. Let's do this again. Yes, you'd like to start your medication, your application, sorry. So here's the point you want to take away from this. You always want to press NA on that screen because none of those businesses apply to you. If they do, then you do not need a legit script, right? So, NA here. So the thing is, I'm going to put NA, and does your business process card not present CNP transactions? CNP transactions are transactions where the physical card is not present. This is sometimes referred to as mobile order. A mobile order, I'm going to say, here's another tricky part, right? So for the most part, I say no. Because for the most part, what this means is that someone could take an order on the phone, right? You don't want that. I would say no, because yes, then you'll have to provide any merchant billing descriptors your company uses and provide the name of each bank or payment provider through which your company has a merchant account. And the reason it does this is because it wants credible banking institutions. Because think about it, the purpose of LegitScript is, for lack of a better term, to prove that you're legit, right? You're a legit company within the healthcare industry. And one thing that could interfere with that is having a process in which you're taking people's credit card information without a legitimate payment provider. So for the most part, I don't think a lot of people take payments on the phone, so I'm going to say no. But if they do, let's add that information in here. But we're going to push no right here. Congratulations, you're eligible for the certification, right? then you have to pay. I'm not going to pay here because I just don't have, what is it, $2,000 laying around for this exercise. So, Lee Stevens, I'm going to put in this again, digital. We're going to do next here. All right, so this is kind of confusing when I first read it. Actually, this is kind of a new payment tier. I think this changed in October of last year, 2024. So there's an application fee, and then there's an annual fee for every website. So you have to add these together. Sorry, I don't have any promo codes. I wish I did. Now, you probably can get some information here from the pricing structure. This is what it used to be. They could say, yeah, in October 24, LegitScripts. New pricing structure. Now it's that's a legacy. So now it's application fee of $9.75, and then there's a certification fee of $2,150 per domain every year, or annually, as it says. So that's as far as I'm going to go here. Let me see if I can go further. Yeah, it's going to ask me. Yeah, kind of figured that would happen next. Yeah, you pay, and the way it works is what's due today is the $9.75. You pay the $2,000 later, but just know that when you get ready to do this application, it's going to cost $9.75. And that's another reason why it depends on where you're at as far as your marketing. You want to make sure the best route to go is to get all of this stuff taken care of in the beginning. But $9.75, you want to add that to your marketing budget, your Google Ads budget, or take it out of that budget. A lot of people have a monthly budget. I would just add it to that. The free application for healthcare related advertising from Google is probably the one that you must have, mostly because it doesn't cost anything and it gets the ball rolling on your legitimacy. So let's stop right there for LegitScripts. Okay. And then we have the NABP, and I'm at this page right now. So let me go back a little bit. This is what this website looks like. It's and I also have it in this doc, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So digital pharmacies. This is, you want to, from this page, probably can download that to learn a little bit more about it, but you want to apply for accreditation here. Get started. You want to apply. You receive all of that information on how to use your accreditation, but let's apply here. This is where it was. So we have the individual or business customers. That's most likely who you are. So what I'm going to do here is email. Log in there. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna create a new one. Let me create a new one right quick. Okay. New payment option. Cool. So you don't want to publish a publication. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. What you're looking for: start or resume the application for the Healthcare Merchant Accreditation Program. Now, they do have these other services if you're interested, and I have not done many of these. That's because I don't get many digital pharmacies. So you want to start this application, support it. If you need to stop or resume, blah, 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 just save and next. Okay, sounds good. Then you want to scroll all the way down here, click that, and then this comes available to you. And all you're doing is filling out this information. That's really all you're doing here. Let me see if I can just do this quickly. Form a business name. Completing the application. Let's see if I can do this in a timely manner. We're not doing business as. There's no formal business name. Title of company representative. Okay, so here we go. We got our information up there. Title of company representative, completing the application. Now, the title of the company representative completing the application, if you're an agency, you want to put your agency name here. And that's a star right there. If you are the company, again, let's go back to our Merck example. We want to, if you're Merck, and you don't work for an agency, just put your company name there. Email company. All right. Telephone number. Let's just put a fictional one on there, and then I certify. Okay. Now it's going to ask you some questions about your business model here. Domain name, information, ownership, adverse action. This is mostly what the application is right here. We operate a community. We use fulfillment pharmacy. If business currently holds plans or to obtain or has lost any accreditations besides the NABP Healthcare Merchant Accreditation, then you list those there. So this is where you want to list your LegitScripts or your Google Healthcare related advertising accreditations. Provide relevant documentation why you're no longer accredited, if any. In their own words, please describe your company's business model in detail. So here, you want to make sure that you let them know what you do and how you do it. Are you a telehealth company? Are you a telehealth company and a med spa? Do you offer services in person, or you like have a telehealth model in which you see patients online or on their phone or something like that? All of their information, the more information you can give them, the better. That's what I like to think of this. Are your services in the U.S.? I tend to say yes for the most part. Are you exclusively in there? Most healthcare companies are exclusively in the U.S. Unless you're someone like Merck. Please check all U.S. states where you're. So this is a good one. I know a lot of med spas that are have multiple have probably the way most of them work is theirs. Not most of them, but the ones who have multiple locations, they probably have those locations within the same area, but they offer telehealth services in other states. So you want to make sure you put those other states in which you offer telehealth services to, because not everyone can offer telehealth services to every state because you have to be certified and that sort of thing, or there's probably legal hurdles you have to go through before you can offer that to other states. If services differ based on jurisdiction, please note the differences. And this is the area that scenario that I just brought up. You're certified in this one area and you want to offer telehealth services to other states. This is where you enter that information. And please be mindful that it's only 1,000 characters. And this is probably the bulk of it. About your business model, like I said, your domain name information. So those are the 3 applications. We have our NABP, Digital Pharmacy Accreditation by the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy. We have Google's healthcare related advertising, and then we have LegitScripts. So, and I have this in the stock right here. These are the 3 that are the most common that you can get. So I will always advise anyone that does anything healthcare related that advertises on Google Ads to get that accreditation. And then there's LegitScripts, and then the NABP pharmacy accreditation. Most people aren't going to need that one. There's a few more. There's the online pharmacy application. Needless to say that that's mostly for pharmacies, certification for health insurance companies. Google Ads health insurance advertiser case form, you're probably not going to need that. And then there's a CBD ad certification, only for California, Colorado, and Puerto Rico. So there you are. Let me know if there's any questions, and we'll talk later.
Here's something to remember. Getting certified gives you a solid leg to stand on, but that doesn't mean you're immune from Google jail forever. The bots can still flag your ads, especially if you're using drug terms. Every time you change your ad, it gets reviewed again by an algorithm, not a human. If you're certified, it gives you credibility, but you still may need to appeal and speak to an actual person at Google. So get certified, ideally before you run any more ads. Do this first. It'll save you a lot of trouble later. Remember, if you're a small business, try to avoid using drug terms directly in your ads unless you absolutely need to. If you do, just be ready to go through the process with Google. And if you have a certification, you'll fare much better in that process. Oh, and one more thing. While LegitScripts and Google are the 2 certifications I recommend, there are a handful of other certifications out there that might be of interest to you. Check out the resource below this lesson to learn about those other certification options. Be sure to include any certifications you get not only on your website, but also in your appeal case to Google. After that, get excited because in the next lesson, we're going to learn how to rewrite your copy so that you can stay out of Google jail for good. I'll see you there.